Okay, this is Mrs. McCoy. This is lesson one of your summer math packet. We are doing a review session. So we are going to be talking about integers, which is really important that you know what an integer is and how to add and subtract integers. So you do know what integers are. It's just a fancy name for numbers that are on the number line. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and -1, -2, -3. So integers are all numbers that are on the number line, including positive numbers and negative numbers. And it also includes 0. So going forward, we're going to learn how to add and subtract integers. First, we're going to add integers. So the first thing we're going to do is, I'm going to give you an example. And I'm going to say -7 plus -7 equals. Okay, so when you add integers and they have the same sign, you're going to add their absolute values, which the absolute value of -7 is actually 7. And the absolute value of -7 is also 7. So you're going to add the two numbers together and you're going to get 14. Now, the last step of this is if both numbers are positive, then you would leave it at 14. If both numbers are, or both of the integers, the original integers, are negative, then your answer is a negative. So this would be -14 because both of my numbers are negative. Another way to think about this is -7 plus -7 equals, well, I know both of the integers have the same sign, so I'm going to add them together and take their sign. So add together because both integers have same sign. Take their sign. In this case, it's going to be a negative. If they were both positive, you would take the sign of both being positive. So this is a -14. So this is going to be your final answer. Okay, let's try another one. Let's say that we have -7 plus 3. Okay, -7 plus 3. Notice they have different signs. So you have a positive and a negative. So when you have a positive and a negative, what you're going to do is you're going to subtract. So that means subtract. And you're going to take for the answer, you're going to take the sign of the larger number of its actual absolute value. So the larger number here is going to be -7 because its absolute value is 7. So we know that our answer is automatically going to be negative. So sometimes it helps to just figure out, is your answer positive or negative? And then you're going to just put the sign there and then we'll fill in the blank once we do the math. So if you have 7 and -3 and you're subtracting 7 or you're subtracting 3 from -7, you're going to end up with -4. All right, so that's your final answer. Okay, let's try one more. Let's say we have -7 plus 10. Notice 10 is the greater integer. Its absolute value is 10. The absolute value of -7 is 7. So we're going to take the sign of the greater number. So our answer is going to be positive. So if we do that, we're going to end up with a +3 because when you subtract 7 from 10, you get +3. All right. Okay, now we're going to go over what if we had a subtraction sign between these. Okay, so we've got the first ones we're adding. We use the addition sign. Now we are going to be subtracting. So if I take -7, I'm just going to use the same one here, only I'm subtracting. Okay, so -7 minus And you'll notice that when you have minus -7, it's going to be in parentheses, because otherwise it's going to look like this, -7 minus -7, and that's confusing. So whenever you have a negative after a negative sign, you're going to have it in parentheses. So therefore, -7 minus -7. The easiest way to do this is to keep, change, change. So what I like to do is change all of my subtraction problems to addition problems. But you can't just arbitrarily change this sign to addition. You actually need to change this sign as well. So I'm going to keep, change, change. So -7 plus 7 equals, well, we've got -7 and +7. So when you add those together, they are different signs. So if you go back to what happens when you have different signs, you have to subtract them. So we subtract and we get 0. So it's different if you're subtracting, obviously. So -7 plus +7 is 0. Okay, let's try -7 minus 3. Okay, so we have -7 minus 3. Do the same thing, keep, change, change. So we're going to do -7 plus, so we change this to a plus, but we have to change this to its opposite, which is -3. Now that we have two of our integers with the same sign, we add. Okay, and then we just take the sign of the larger number, which is negative, and it's the larger number's absolute value. So therefore we get -10. So -7 plus -3 is -10. Hope that helped.